Remember when they used to say certain things in West African politics?
Right.
Well, they just couldn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Things like Ghana, the long-standing golden child of ECO, a really staunch Western ally, making a pretty radical pivot.
Mm-hmm. Unthinkable for many.
Exactly. Well, you're about to see Ghana in a completely new light today. We're taking a deep dive into what seems like maybe a quiet news item on the surface.
Yeah, it didn't make huge headlines everywhere.
But it's actually a massive shift. Ghana's surprising move to cooperate with the Sahel Alliance,
Yeah.
the AES, led by Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traore.
And that's really our mission in this deep dive today. We want to truly unpack the significance, the profound weight of Ghana's decision here.
Right.
We'll dig into the underlying reasons, why now, who are the key players involved, and critically, what are the implications, the ripple effects for African politics, global dynamics, all based on the source material we've got.
Yeah, this isn't just like a political reshuffle.
Yeah.
It feels different. It feels like a quiet revolution almost.
That's a good way to put it.
One that could genuinely change everything we thought we knew about the region.
Yeah.
Seriously, when we're done here, I think you won't look at Ghana the same way again. Okay, so let's get into the specifics then. What actually happened?
Right.
So late June 2025, Ghana's government makes this announcement. They say they'll begin working closely with the Sahel Alliance, the AES.
Which is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger.
Exactly. Now, maybe to some people, this news just seemed kind of minor, maybe technical.
Yeah, flew under the radar for some.
But for those of you listening who follow African politics closely, it was immediately clear this was, a major shift. Expert, maybe give us the immediate context. What is it about this Sahel Alliance that makes Ghana's move so striking?
Yeah, that's absolutely crucial context. The AES, this alliance, it's made up of countries that ECOWAS itself.
Yeah.
And by extension, many Western powers have recently, cut off.
Right, isolated them. Sanctions.
Exactly. Sanctions, political isolation. And the alliance is led by Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso, a figure who's definitely captured a lot of attention lately.
For sure.
Now, it's really, really important to be clear here. Ghana hasn't, officially joined the AES.
Okay.
And they haven't officially left ECOWAS either.
Right, no formal declarations yet.
No.
Yeah.
But this cooperation, this engagement, it sends just this unmistakable signal, doesn't it?
It really does.
Ghana is deliberately, it seems, stepping away from that traditional, very strong ECOWAS alignment and starting down a new path, something different.
And that signal, just the symbolism of it, it carries immense weight, doesn't it? I mean, Ghana, for decades,
Yeah.
it was one of ECOWAS's most trusted members, beacon of stable democracy, relatively strong economy, those deep diplomatic ties with the West.
The poster child, really.
Totally. And now that same country is aligning, or at least cooperating closely, with groups ECOWAS actively tried to push the margins. It's almost like Ghana is quietly sort of breaking ranks, challenging the very rules that once held West African countries together under, one main voice.
Yeah. And to understand that move, you really have to look at Ghana's journey. For a long, long time, Ghana was widely celebrated, wasn't it, as the African success story.
Absolutely. That was the narrative.
It really embraced the advice, from international bodies like the IMF, the World Bank.
Did all the right things, according to them.
Pretty much. Adopted fair elections, free markets. It was constantly praised by foreign experts, held up as this model for other nations to copy.
But,
yeah.
And this is where our sources really add that crucial layer. Despite all that international praise, those awards, a lot of Ghanaians were actually struggling.
Yeah.
Deeply.
Yeah. The reality on the ground was different.
We're talking specific, tangible problems highlighted in the materials. Farmers losing their land, their livelihoods, because they just couldn't compete with cheaper food coming in from abroad.
Right. Imports flooding the market.
Young people, even with university degrees, really struggling to find decent jobs after graduation.
Youth unemployment is a huge issue.
And the Ghanaian cedi, the currency, just constantly losing value. And the sources link that, in part, to this over-reliance on foreign money, foreign systems, a global trade structure that, it didn't seem to benefit local producers, did it?
No, it didn't. And those internal struggles, those very real difficulties people were facing, they led to this profound, almost existential question bubbling up within Ghana.
Which was?
Are we truly independent, or are we just following a script written by others?
Following the instructions.
Exactly. And this wasn't actually a unique question just to Ghana. It's the very same question that countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the AES countries, had already started asking themselves very forcefully.
Okay. So there's a shared sentiment there.
Precisely. So Ghana's current shift, it isn't just about joining a new club or making a political statement. It feels more like choosing a fundamentally different path.
A path defined by whom?
Well, that's the point. One where Africa defines its own direction, driven by its own people, its own needs, not primarily by external guidance or prescriptions.
That is a powerful shift in mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And speaking of, new paths and different approaches, let's talk about Ibrahim Traore for a second.
Okay.
When he first came onto the scene, a lot of people just saw him as, maybe a young, brave soldier. Idealistic, perhaps?
Yeah, that was the initial take for many.
But our sources suggest a much more complex picture. They talk about a careful, deliberate plan he was quietly building behind the scenes. What are the core ideas? What's the blueprint for the Sahel Alliance that seems to be getting Ghana's attention now?
Well, what's really striking about Traore's vision and the model the Sahel Alliance seems to be building is its complete rejection of those traditional dependencies we just talked about.
Okay, how so?
They basically advocate for no reliance on IMF loans, zero foreign aid, or at least aid with heavy conditions attached, and absolutely no foreign military bases on their soil.
Right. A clean break almost.
It seems that way. Instead, the focus is intensely inward, building a military that's trained by locals for local needs and contexts,
Right.
transforming the school system, that's a big one, teaching in African languages, focusing on practical, real-life lessons relevant to their situation, not just concepts imported from, former colonial powers or the West.
So avoiding those external conditions, those debt traps that often come with traditional aid.
That seems to be the core aim. His goal, and it's remarkably clear and simple when you boil it down, is to create a future where Africans lead themselves. Period. Without needing permission, without needing validation from the outside world.
And what's really compelling here, looking at the sources, is how Ghana's attention, just the fact that Ghana's looking this way, it sort of elevates this vision, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Before, Traore might have had to work harder to convince people his ideas were serious, were workable.
Right. Prove the concept.
But now with Ghana, one of West Africa's most established and frankly respected countries, starting to pay attention, well, the conversation itself just shifts, doesn't it?
Yeah. It validates the seriousness of that path he's forging. It makes people sit up and take notice.
Exactly. It gives it a different kind of weight.
So what about the reaction from the old guard then? ECOWAS. How are they taking this?
Well, ECOWAS's reaction is interesting, publicly. They've been remarkably quiet.
Silence.
A very noticeable silence, yes. However, behind closed doors, the sources we have paint a very different picture.
Okay, what are we seeing there?
We've seen mentions of internal memos circulating, documents calling Ghana's actions a serious concern.
Ooh, okay. Strong language.
Yes. And warnings that existing agreements, things like trade deals, security cooperation, diplomatic arrangements, they may need to be reviewed.
Wow. So basically, ECOWAS might be considering cutting ties or punishing Ghana if this cooperation continues or deepens.
That seems to be the underlying threat, yes. The sources strongly suggest that Ghana's move, this cooperation, is being viewed internally like a betrayal.
Even if no one's saying that word out loud yet.
Exactly, even if nobody dares say it publicly just yet. But expert, is this just about, governments and diplomats, or is there something deeper happening here?
Oh, it's far more than just governments squabbling or, political posturing.
Yeah.
I really think this represents a profound shift in how people are thinking, especially within Ghana itself.
Okay.
And it's a sentiment that seems to be echoing across the continent, actually. For countless Africans, reading between the lines of what people are saying, Ghana's decision. It feels like something they've been waiting for.
Waiting for how?
Like a long overdue return to self-respect, a reassertion of agency, deciding for themselves.
Okay, so if we zoom out a bit from just Ghana and ECOWAS, this individual shift, Ghana reaching out to the AES, it feels like it might be part of something much bigger, right?
I think so. Like this idea of Pan-African unity, like maybe it's moving beyond just, speeches and historical ideals. Is it becoming more tangible? more real.
Absolutely. I think that's a key takeaway. What's compelling is how this potential unity is materializing in practical terms now.
What do you mean?
Well, look at the pieces. Ghana offers a crucial element, a port, access to the sea, vital for trade for the landlocked Sahel countries.
Right. Logistical necessity.
The Sahel Alliance, the AES, provides maybe a working system, a different model, and certainly a clear ideological framework based on self-reliance.
Okay, the how-to.
And perhaps most importantly, this budding connection, this cooperation, it seems to have a genuine heartbeat now. There's energy behind it. And, we should be really clear, based on the sources, this isn't about promoting war. It's not about anger or revenge against former powers. It's not even fundamentally about, just fighting the West.
About building something new, perhaps.
I think that's exactly it. It feels like something much deeper. It's like Africa finally deciding to build its own door.
I like that metaphor. Build its own door.
Yeah. And choosing who gets to walk through it. A door built, on African soil, using African hands, and guided by African dreams and priorities.
That's powerful. So Ghana's message, then, in cooperating with the Sahel Alliance, it feels incredibly clear, even without formal declarations. It's like they're saying,
we are not alone.
Yeah, we are united.
And maybe we struggled economically, according to some metrics, but we are not poor in spirit.
Right. That message, you can feel it resonating, can't you, across the continent. And it signals the opening of a genuinely new chapter. Okay, so let's just reiterate the main point here as we wrap up. Ghana hasn't officially left ECOWAS.
Correct.
Nor has it formally joined the Sahel Alliance, the AES.
Not formally, no.
But, and this is the crucial bit, by taking this step, this significant step toward cooperation with countries that ECOWAS and the West once labeled as, maybe outlaws or pariahs, Ghana has fundamentally changed the conversation in West Africa.
It really has. And this development, it's prompting new questions everywhere across Africa. People are asking, what does real independence actually look like in the 21st century?
Good question.
Who truly gets to shape our future? Is it us or external forces? And maybe the most pointed question right now, if Ghana, the model student, can rethink its position so fundamentally.
Who else will?
Exactly. Who else is watching this? Who else might follow suit or forge their own similar path?
So this isn't just, a diplomatic shuffle or a minor policy change. It feels like a signal.
A very powerful signal.
A sign that Africa's future, it's no longer being written in just one room following just one script.
More authors are picking up the pen.
Yeah. And whatever this leads, whether it's greater cooperation, new alliances, or even more friction, the rest of the continent is watching very, very closely. Not just to follow Ghana, perhaps, but to decide for themselves.
To decide their own way forward. It's a fascinating moment.
It really is. A lot to think about there.